All right, let's get started. First of all, thank you all for coming today to hear me speak. And personally, thank you guys for watching me speak today. So let's go ahead and jump in. Now, what if I told you there's a modern day form of slavery that exists in this country that affects thousands of Americans each and every year? Hello, my name is Eric Little, and I'm here to talk to you today about why I believe college student athletes should be paid for their participation in revenue generating collegiate sports. Now, like many of you, I'm a fan of college sports. They played a huge role in my family and my upbringing, which is why my brother is actually currently a student athlete. That's why this issue is so near and dear to my heart. Now, the reasons why I believe that college student athletes should be paid for their participation in sports is because A, playing a sport in college is like working a full-time job. B, despite receiving scholarships, a lot of college student athletes are still broke. C, without compensation, student athletes actually run a higher risk of adverse life consequences. And D, because everyone else is getting paid but the athletes. So, the first reason why I believe college student athletes should be paid is because the time required to be successful in sports is equivalent to working a full-time job. Now, the NCAA tried to limit the amount of time an athlete can participate in sport-related activities to only about 20 hours a week. However, this rule isn't working. Many athletes actually put in 40 or more hours per week during their respective seasons once you add in travel time, voluntary training experiences, social functions, and treatment and rehab activities. Now, due to the demands of collegiate sports, it's next to impossible for these students to find a job outside of their sports that'll work with their regular hours. Now, the next reason why college athletes should be paid outside of a free education is because athletes on average have less money than normal college students. Now, many college athletes come from impoverished backgrounds. And even though room and board and tuition are usually taken care of, there are many things that aren't. Many players get money for meals on campus. However, if they ever have to go out of town to play for a game, a lot of times those meals aren't covered and they have to pay for those out of pocket. Also, players also have to pay for normal college expenses, such as supplies, computers, and clothes, and just normal going out money, like even going to the movies. Now, while many athletes receive scholarships for participating in sports, there's also a large majority that don't. Now, the next reason why I believe student athletes should be paid is because participating in college sports can lead to massive adverse life consequences. A large amount of student athletes never finish school. In fact, according to a federal survey, close to 40% of student athletes do not graduate. Now, those that do often graduate do so with degrees that don't lead to well-paying jobs because they're always hoping to get actually hired into the professional sports. So they put as least time as possible into their actual schoolwork and focus more on the sports, which leads to a poor degree, unfortunately. Next, there are currently no rule requiring the NCAA to provide health care for student athletes. Therefore, if they were to be seriously injured, not only do they lose their scholarship, but then they're left with mountains of medical debt as well. These are really dangerous problems for any student athlete. Now, last, I believe student athletes should be paid because everyone else makes a profit off of them but them. Coaches, for instance, make millions. According to a USA Today article, the NCAA football coaches on average make about $1.64 million a year, with the highest coach making over $5.5 million a year. The NCAA itself makes millions of dollars worth of revenue off of the student athletes. According to their own website, for the 2011-2012 school year, the NCAA generated $871.6 million worth of revenue from their collegiate sports athletes. Last, universities also profit handsomely off of the student athletes. In 2012, Texas University generated $163 million worth of revenue off of its collegiate athletics program. So, do you really think that that's fair? All of these entities and organizations are making millions of dollars while the students aren't getting paid a dime? I don't think that's fair at all. So, in conclusion, student athletes should be getting paid for their participation in collegiate activities. To go over the main points, playing a sport in college is like working a full-time job. Despite receiving scholarships, college athletes are still broke. Without compensation, college athletes actually run a higher risk of adverse life consequences. And last, everyone else is paid but the athletes themselves. Now, I'm not saying college athletes should be paid like professional athletes, but there has to be some middle ground to provide more than just conditions for student athletes. Every day they risk their health and their futures for the sake of the entertainment, or for the sake of our entertainment, while the NCAA makes billions off of it, yet they never receive a dime. That's not fair, and it's something that has to change. Do the right thing and support the cause for college student athletes to be paid. Thank you.